Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from sacredsoulempowerment.com, here to do your weekly intuitive reading for Monday, September 13th through Sunday, September 19th, 2021. For this week's weekly reading, we'll be using the Psychic Tarot by John Holland for the main message for everyone. And your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, will be coming from the Keepers of the Light deck by Kyle Gray. Just a reminder that we are now into the middle of September. If you haven't already watched the monthly intuitive reading for this month, you'll want to go onto my YouTube channel and listen to that. It's definitely a month to remember, with change being the highlight for this month. And it includes the astrological transits of significance for the month, the numerology vibration for the month, messages from our angels and guides for the collective, as well as special messages for you depending on your stone of choice. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the stones of choice for this week's weekly reading. Now, these are all calcites. And calcite comes in different colors, and so we're going to have you use your intuitive capabilities based on what chakra you feel needs the most support for this week. The first calcite is blue calcite, and isn't that a pretty kind of cloudy blue or sky blue kind of calcite? This, of course, relates to the throat chakra, okay? So if you need support right now in speaking your truth or in any form of communication like writing or teaching or blogging, or again, just having conversations with other people, if you need also some intuitive capabilities with your ear chakras, I think this can also be ear chakra worthy. So this is for increased clairaudience and hearing those messages, as well as speaking your truth with authenticity, but yet compassion and love. Your second calcite of choice is this beautiful orange calcite. Now, this, of course, would relate to our sacral chakra, which is below the belly button, right? And this is the chakra of creative self-expression. So if you're feeling this week like you want to activate that creativity within yourself, activate that creative self-expression in some way, or activate joy and happiness in your life, because this chakra relates to our sense of joy and happiness and all good emotions, as well as passion. So feeling passion within yourself, passion for life, passion for what you're doing. If you want to create that passion in your life. So in activating any of those qualities this week, then the orange calcite is going to be for you. And then the last calcite that we have right now to choose from is this beautiful green calcite. And of course, we know that the green calcite relates to the heart chakra. And this is going to help to clear and heal old emotional wounds, or heal and support relationship matters and the healing and balancing of those. I feel like too, the green to me is just an overall healing color. So if you need physical body healing, or again, mental or emotional body healing, this has kind of a refreshing kind of lightness about it, right? So it's like it refreshes and activates that refreshing healing, balancing energy within any and all of the chakras, but again, especially related to the emotional body and that heart chakra. So again, your stones of choice are the blue calcite, the orange calcite, and the green calcite. Okay. You might also notice that there's no flowers behind me, and when we switch our perspective to see the card messages from our angels and guides, you'll also notice that it's going to be bare as well, because I'm in the process of moving. So before we kind of go any further, let me just give you that heads up. As we're in the middle of this month of September, I'm going to be moving probably and most likely out of the state of Florida before the end of this month. So everything is being packed away About 99% of my crystals are packed away, and I won't have my big piece of wonderful purple and green fluorite in the background like I usually do, or my candle. So just forgive me as I'm in this process of transition. It might take 3 or 4 weeks before everything's said and done, the moving, the unpacking, the setting up, but I'm going to try my best to do these weekly readings and the monthly for October at some point here in order to keep you updated. So with that heads up, let's talk about the astrological highlights of significance before we shift and look at those card messages. The first thing I noticed, which wasn't astrological in nature actually, but it was more numerological. What I noticed when I was meditating on this is that this is the week of September 13th through September 19th. The 13th, the day that we start out this week, the number 13 is a karmic number in numerology. It's one of 4 karmic numbers. And also the 19, where we end this week, the 19th, is also one of the 4 karmic numbers. So I thought it was very interesting that we started out with a karmic number vibration and ended with a karmic number vibration in this week. The number 13, where we're starting on Monday, is a number of death and rebirth. It's a number of transformation. Usually it's about inner transformation and shedding old belief systems, shedding old perceptions or concepts, especially at a mental body level, and undergoing this phase of transmuting and healing and, again, transformation with that number 13 of death and rebirth. Now the number 19, numerologically speaking, is a karmic number that deals with our sense of self and confidence and self-identity and courage and take charge ability versus, or balanced with, our ability to be a part of the group or to be of service to humanity or to ask for help when we need it from other people. So we have the 1 of the 19, which is about self, and the 9 of the 19, which is about the collective, everyone else. And so this is where that fine balance and karmic lessons of needing to stand on your own 2 feet and do it alone or do it by yourself versus knowing when to ask for help and assistance from other people, the universe, your angels and guides. And again, self and paying attention to what your needs are versus the needs of the collective or other people, which is that 9 energy. So again, we begin and end this week on that karmic number vibration. As far as the astrology transits this week, we start on Tuesday the 14th with the Sun currently in Virgo, and it's opposing Neptune, which is in its home sign of Pisces. Now the Sun is the lens through which we shine our light, and so right now that lens is Virgo. And that Virgo energy is all about work and focus and tasks and taking care of details and using discernment, using our mental capabilities of logic and analysis. And with the Sun in Virgo, I mean, usually it's about, again, getting things done, like a lot of little details and tasks and day-to-day things in our lives needing to be paid attention to and getting done. But with this aspect on Tuesday where it opposes Neptune, Neptune is very elusive. Neptune is very non-task oriented. It's very dreamy. And it's, it deals with the spiritual realm. Neptune rules the spiritual realm and just going with the flow and using the imagination and using our psychic capabilities and intuition. So here we have the Sun in logical, analytical Virgo opposing Neptune in dreamy, imaginative Pisces. So you can kind of get the idea that we might have a little bit of trouble staying on track mentally with things that need to get done. We might be pulled away by other people and, what their needs or wants are, or what they're pulling us towards to do or to get done. This is happening very early on Tuesday Eastern time. So we're going to feel this Monday too. So Monday and Tuesday we have that aspect going on. Also on Tuesday, we have Mars, which is the planet of energy, action, and forward movement. Also known as the warrior. Mars is the warrior, divine masculine energy. It's like raw force of energy here, and it's moving out of Virgo, which was very kind of putting its energy towards tasks that needed to be done, and now it's moving into Libra. And of course, Libra is about balance and harmony and peace, which doesn't go very well with the warrior nature or assertiveness nature of Mars. And of course, Libra is about relationships and partnerships as well. So we're putting our energy and action into relationship and partnership matters, but we're also putting our energy into trying to attain a sense of peace and balance and harmony in our day-to-day life. I like to call it the peaceful warrior, because Mars is the warrior and Libra is the sign of peace and balance. And so if we can take on the energy of being the peaceful warrior during the time that Mars is in Libra, which is actually from September 14th until October 30th, so a good month and a half, Mars is going to be here. And again, we're going to see this kind of highlight on putting our energy towards the rebalancing of relationship matters. Where there's inequality or an imbalance, Mars is going to assert itself to try to bring things back into balance. But again, Mars can go overboard with its assertive, aggressive nature. So there might also be, during this time of Mars in Libra, depending on what other transits are going on, there may be some challenges as well. Kind of the self versus the other kind of energy. On Thursday the 16th, we're back to the Sun in Virgo, and now it's in what's called an inconjunct aspect to Jupiter in Aquarius. Now, Jupiter rules the expansion principle. So whatever Jupiter touches, it expands. And right now it's in Aquarius. And so this is for the collective. It's expanding those humanitarian, logical, social, idea-oriented, future idea-oriented kind of energy, right? But Aquarius can be quite stubborn too. It's a fixed sign, so it can be very stubborn with its ideas and perspectives and perceptions. So Jupiter is expanding that energy already by itself. Now with this inconjunct to the Sun in Virgo, and the Sun in Virgo again can be very sometimes nitpicky, looking at details, sometimes critical, and a lot of times self-critical. Jupiter might expand that. Jupiter might expand these energies of feeling a little bit perfectionistic or needing to get things exactly done right and in exactly the right time, or wanting things to make logical sense. And so there's just some adjustments that we need to make, because the Sun in Virgo is going to focus in on the details, the Virgo details, but Jupiter in Aquarius wants to expand into the big picture of the future. So there's this little discrepancy there with kind of the present moment and what needs to be done versus where we want to go, what our goals are for the future. So make sure to try to balance those two perspectives out. Also on Thursday, we have the Sun in Virgo in a positive connection to Pluto, which is in Capricorn and will be for quite some time yet. It's been there for many, many years. Pluto is a very slow-moving planet. In fact, it is towards the tail end of Capricorn, so maybe another year and a half or so it's going to be transitioning into Aquarius. But right now, Pluto's power is surrounding this Capricornian energy, which rules the third dimensional paradigm. It rules conservative, practical, grounded, earthly, big business, corporations, career, finance, money, status. It rules all of those kind of third dimensional concepts and constructs. But with the Sun in Virgo connecting positively to Pluto and Capricorn, I feel like there is a possibility of some sense of power or empowerment going on. Now with Pluto, you never know if there's going to be some disempowerment energies going on, but this is a positive aspect, so we have the capability or possibility here of rising into our power in some way, probably through getting things done, because again, the Sun is in Virgo right now. So through getting things done, checking things off our list, making sure we're paying attention to details, especially since Mercury is now in its shadow. It's not quite retrograde yet, but it's in its shadow of the retrograde, so things can start to go a little wonky, and miscommunication and technology mishaps and things like that. But if we can focus on our tasks, the tasks at hand for us, we might feel empowered on that day. Also on late Thursday and into Friday early Eastern time, we have Venus, the planet of love, relationships, money, finance, personal resources, and our values, which is currently in Scorpio. And she's going to be challenging Saturn in Aquarius. Now that one might be a little tough because Venus wants harmony and she's all about beauty, but she's in Scorpio right now, so she's also delving into the shadow side of things. She's also looking for transformation, which is a Scorpio keyword, looking for transformation within her relationships or within her finances or personal resources. But that square is a challenging aspect. That's square to Saturn, and Saturn is the great teacher of lessons. He deals with karma and feelings of restriction or limitation or delays. And he's in that fixed sign of Aquarius. So here we have Venus in a fixed sign Scorpio and Saturn in a fixed sign Aquarius, and they're going to be at this kind of tug of war sort of with each other. This may bring up some challenges in finances, money matters, relationships, partnerships, our sense of power within a relationship. And Saturn, of course, is all about what lessons are we learning? What lessons do we need to pay attention to? Where do we need to take responsibility for our part that we're playing in this whole situation or circumstance, whatever that situation or circumstance may be? And then again, to learn whatever Saturn's trying to teach us. So he's trying to teach us to be responsible in some way, shape, or form, and to learn something here. On Friday the 17th, this is the last aspect for us this week, is Mercury in Libra. Now, Mercury is the planet of the mind. It rules the mental realm. It rules our thoughts, ideas, perceptions, and communications. Again, remember, as I mentioned earlier, it's in its shadow right now, getting ready to go to retrograde motion towards the end of this month of September, and then we'll be retrograde through about mid-October or so. Now, Mercury being in Libra, again, we're talking about relationship, partnership, balance, harmony, equality, compromise, all of those Libra terms. So with Mercury in Libra, the highlight here is communication in relationships, but it's in an inconjunct to Neptune. So here we're back to Neptune, that elusive planet of confusion and delusion and illusion. So Neptune in that connection to Mercury, and again, Mercury already being at shadow, look for miscommunication, misunderstandings perhaps to happen, people not understanding each other, missed meetings. This Mercury can even rule travel, especially short distance travel. Sometimes it rules long distance travel too, where there can be, again, mishaps, technology mishaps, which normally like texting or emailing, since that's a form of communication, we might, see lost messages, or we might forget about the message that was sent and we forget to call back, text back, email back. So just pay attention to any kind of communication mishaps where we need to reiterate, we need to make sure that we're clear in what we're trying to communicate. Now, this is all leading up to a full moon, and the full moon isn't this week, but it is on Monday of next week. So we're talking about Monday the 20th, which is going to be part of next week's intuitive reading. We have a full moon coming up, and that full moon is going to be in Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac. And so because it's the last sign of the zodiac, we're in a time of completion, right? There's a completion phase going on here with this full moon. And because we're building up to it this week, again, emotions can be running higher than usual. Our emotional reactions are a little bit more magnified. So just pay attention to all of that as we move throughout this week. So let's go ahead and change our perspective, and let's see what our angels and guides have to tell us for this week. Okay, everybody, so here we are to take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. Again, your stones of choice for this week are the blue calcite, the orange calcite, or the green calcite. All right, so let's turn over this first card here and see what we have to see. Ooh, this is Major Arcana number 16 out of this deck, and in this deck it's called Disruption. Now, in the traditional tarot, this is known as the Tower card. So the Tower card usually means that there's some external shifts in our circumstances. There's some huge transformation and change on an environmental external level. So in this card, it's called disruption. So, there's some disruption going on in our lives. And I'm not surprised based on some of the transits. It's not like they're hugely negative or anything, but we are moving into a full moon in Pisces, as I mentioned. And sometimes with that Virgo energy, when we're trying to take care of a lot of things and we have to, use our logic, use our head, and Neptune in the mix saying, things aren't going to be always logical, that sometimes we need to use our intuition. And so there seems to be kind of a breaking down sort of thing happening here. And in fact, we might be feeling a little overwhelmed this week. Our energy movement forward might be disrupted. Our physical vitality and energy might be disrupted. To me, whenever I see this particular card in this deck, I feel like we are misaligned. And you can see that just based on the image in this picture. It's like we're misaligned, but to me, I always look at it as we are being realigned. We're misaligned, or the energies, the circumstances in our lives are kind of chaotic, maybe falling apart, maybe not making any sense. The puzzle pieces aren't fitting correctly. We're, again, overwhelmed because there's so much to have to pay attention to, or so many details to take care of. But the universe is in the process of helping us to realign us. Now, we have to have trust and faith with Neptune this week. Neptune is saying have trust and faith, ask for guidance and listen to that guidance, because that Virgo energy of logic might not always be there. Sometimes we need to go with what feels right. Sometimes we need to go where it seems that we're being directed, all the while still needing to take care of the tasks at hand. But just know that it looks like we're feeling a little closed down here. This person has his wrists look like they're bound across his chest, so he's feeling kind of held back, which is part of that Saturn energy with Venus this week as well, feeling limited, restricted, or held back, feeling bound, feeling like almost immobilized, like I can't move because I'm feeling so overwhelmed. So let's go ahead and see what the next card has to say here and see how the rest of the week unfolds. Okay, the next card is the Seven of Spiritual. This is like the Seven of Wands in the traditional tarot. And the Seven of Spiritual is saying, stand your ground. Stand your ground, stand in your truth, have faith, and maybe speak your truth too. The number 7 numerologically is about self-reflection and going within and listening to that intuitive guidance from your higher soul self. It's a number that is very spiritual in nature. It's almost very shamanistic in a sense. And it is in the suit of spiritual. So we're talking about some, shamanic energies here, where we're really going within, connecting with our inner teacher and our inner guide, listening to that intuition. And then based on whatever that intuition is, we're going to take a stand. We're going to create a boundary if we need to. We're going to speak our truth if we need to. And maybe it's with another person or within a situation or circumstance, but this might be just standing strong within ourselves as well. Like not allowing that disruption card that starts out the week to take hold and to cause you to, feel so overwhelmed that you're immobilized. This is like, no way, I'm going to stand strong. I'm going to find my courage and confidence again, and I'm going to move forward. I have faith. I have trust in the universe, what's unfolding, and in the divine timing that I'm going to be led in the right direction to the right next steps. And, this person has a staff in their hand, and this to me looks like a big, bright, beautiful sun too. So this is like the sun in Virgo saying, you know what? We're going to show you the small steps that need to be taken. So just stand in your truth and move forward here. Okay. And again, if this is with another person, you might need to stand strong and speak your truth or set a boundary. Let's look at the next card here. This card came out with the second card, so it's kind of a double message here. This is the Four of Emotional. In the traditional tarot, this would be the Four of Cups. And the number 4 is, again, a feeling of restriction or limitation or delays or needing to take care of earthly matters, earthly karmic challenges. You know, it's very logical, it's very analytical, which is again that Virgo energy. But now we have that logical, analytical energy in the suit of the emotions and how we're feeling. So we might be feeling, you know, this can be a feeling of being emotionally trapped or emotionally shut down. And the way this man is looking here, you know, he's got this big, beautiful castle and beautiful scenery back here in the background, but he's turned away from it. He's not looking at it. So whether he's actually turning his back on the possibilities of the future, his dream, or whether he just hasn't even turned around to see that the possibility and the dream is right here behind him, if he just turns around to look, he's either, you know, maybe depressed or frustrated or just, again, just shutting down emotionally and feeling kind of bound. We even have some rainbow energy down here at his feet. But again, he's turned towards the shadow, right? He's turned towards the shadow of negativity or, you know, again, depression. And if he just turned around, there'd be these wonderful rainbows at his feet, this wonderful scenery with the castle, you know, out to his front, which is nice and light and bright and cheery. But he's kind of turned away from all that. So I feel like, you know, we might be shutting down emotionally or feeling stuck emotionally, feeling disempowered emotionally, and just feeling kind of a heaviness, an overall heaviness. So, you know, this is almost like an either or here. Are we going to stand strong in our confidence, find that power within ourselves, or are we going to let this emotional energy take us over? Like the disruption card that we started out with, and have us feel bound. Okay, let's look at the last card here. The last card is the Major Arcana 1. This is good because this is awareness. In the traditional tarot, it's the Magician card. So the Magician card is about creating our own reality, especially through our thoughts and perceptions and intentions, right? Here we have the Magician's crown chakra lit up, right? So first of all, if we can just have a higher awareness, a higher perspective and awareness about the energies of what's going on this week and what it might be needing to teach us or what we might need to learn from it. That's one perspective of this awareness card. The other one, again, is to stand strong in your truth, stand your ground with this previous card here, and allow that higher awareness to come in with higher thoughts, higher vision, higher perceptions, higher intuition, higher ideas, and higher intentions. Send those thoughts, intentions, and visualizations out into the universe with awareness so that you can create a wonderful new reality. Create this reality of the castle in the background here, right? The magician wants to create his dream. So we can create this light, bright, sunny pasture with the castle and everything that we dreamed of here. If we can just focus on knowing that we have the power within ourselves, within our minds, to create our own reality. That coupled with the universe, right? So we're co-creators with the universe. The magician is a co-creator with God's source energy, universe, and the potential and possibilities that the universe has to offer. The number 1, as far as this major arcana being the first major arcana, means again, confidence, courage, standing strong in our truth, standing strong in our individuality, taking charge of our lives. The magician takes charge. He stands strong in his awareness and takes charge. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what your special message card is, depending on your stone of choice. All right, so let's take a breath here. And for those of you that chose the blue calcite special message. This one, as I open my eyes, is kind of sticking up, so we're going to go with that one. And it says Mary Magdalene, and it says Teacher Awakens. At the bottom it says you have something important to share. Follow the inner call and don't let anything stop you. That kind of goes with that stand your ground card, right? And it's interesting that the base of this card is purple, The Seven of Spiritual card is purple as well. So we have this purple crown chakra energy that we need to focus on, but we also have this red root chakra or base chakra energy here. So we're aligning all of the chakras. We're aligning our crown chakra all the way down to our root chakra, our higher vision, knowledge, and wisdom with our energy, action, and manifestation capabilities here. So Mary Magdalene says, the teacher awakens. You have something important to share. Follow the inner call. Don't let anything stop you. That red energy is the color for Mars, right? We talked about Mars moving into Libra this week. Mars is the warrior, and Mars is known as the red planet, the warrior red planet of assertiveness, energy, and action. So again, we're kind of coupling that raw base energy action of Mars with that higher energy of Neptune. You know, Neptune is the ruler of the spiritual realm and intuition and higher guidance and magic and miracles. And I feel like we're definitely, and this is to me is a very divine feminine card. So the divine feminine is really balancing both the divine feminine as well as the divine masculine within, and balancing energy, action, and forward movement with imagination, intuition, and trusting in the universe. So awaken that power within you. She's got a beautiful necklace here. It's below her throat chakra because the throat chakra to me would be above. So it's more towards the heart chakra. And we have beautiful roses in the background too, which to me is a heart chakra kind of flower. So we're needing to awaken not only the teacher within us, but awaken the heart chakra, which is where our healing capabilities are, where that inner teacher energy is, right? We got the white flowers, which again is a crown chakra color, awakening, opening up to the higher wisdom and guidance of the universe. So there's a lot of messages folded into this card for the blue calcite people. Let's go ahead and take a look at the message for the orange calcite people. So, special message of guidance for the orange calcite people. Divine truth for orange calcite people. I open my eyes. This one to me is catching my attention. And we have Melchizedek here. Melchizedek. Higher learning. Okay. Higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further your progress. So it has another kind of learning teacher, you know, sort of inner wisdom kind of connotation here with Melchizedek and higher learning. Again, this makes me feel about Saturn, you know, that Saturn influence that we have this week with Venus. And I feel like we have, you know, some great teachers here, spiritual teachers that are assisting us and guiding us, sharing their wisdom and knowledge. And this has that feeling of higher wisdom and knowledge with the geometric shape around his head. We've got the geometric shape at his heart chakra. He's got some sort of cloak, but the cloak looks like angel wings. You know, he looks like a very wise sage here in this picture. And so we're supposed to be learning something. This is about soul growth and evolution, right? When they talk about higher learning or higher wisdom and knowledge, there's something here about soul growth and evolution and listening to opening up our crown chakra, because there's a lot of white here. White hair, the white kind of cloak or angel wings. We've got the thing, the kind of geometric shape around his crown chakra in its entirety. So we're opening up our crown chakra to higher spiritual wisdom and knowledge. What are we learning? What is the universe trying to teach us? What messages is the universe giving us with whatever circumstance or situations we're going through this week? There's something to be learned, and maybe we're not getting it, or maybe we are and we're just choosing to ignore it, or maybe we're not getting it in its entirety. So I feel like doing a meditation and calling in Melchizedek here, opening up both the crown and the heart chakra, and asking for that information, whatever that higher learning information is, to settle in and to make itself known to us. All right, and for those of you that chose the green calcite, so green calcite people, special message for green calcite. This one's calling my attention here. This is Krishna, and it says devotion. And it says, trust your spiritual guidance. Trust your spiritual guidance. Your commitment has been recognized and you are loved unconditionally. So we got some keywords in this one too that are very Virgo and Pisces to me. Your commitment has been recognized, and commitment, Virgo is an earth sign. There could be some aspect of commitment there with Virgo, but also Saturn. Saturn's about responsibility and commitment as well. And Saturn's in the mix this week. You are loved unconditionally. That's very Neptunian, and we have Neptune this week in a couple of aspects. Trust your spiritual guidance, which is also Neptune-based. And especially with the sun being in Virgo, opposing Neptune in Pisces at the beginning of this week, again, it's the logic versus the intuition, the logic of Virgo versus the intuition of Pisces. And, I shouldn't make it sound like it's versus, like, oh, it's got to be one or the other. This is about trying to merge them, right? Merge what it is that logically seems like the right next step, but also listen to your intuition and inner guidance and how things feel, and use discernment, which is also kind of a Virgo trait, right? Where we use discernment. Does that seem like the right thing to do? Or is this person, what they're speaking, what they're communicating, does that feel right? Does something feel off? This is using discernment, which is a mental activity, but it's also merging it with intuition. So the devotion part, I feel like this is being devoted to your growth and evolution, being devoted to your path and your passion, being devoted to who it is you are and what it is you're here to do, what it is you want to do. Not at the expense of everyone else, not to, not take care of other people, love other people, or listen to other people and their opinions. But there's a sense of needing to devote yourself maybe to your spiritual work, or maybe to your spiritual growth, or maybe you are devoting yourself to maybe a family, member, or a relationship to make it work, to really put forth that effort and that attention towards, making something smoother. Then it might be in your work, in your job, in your career, as well as home or family or relationship. Again, it might be devotion to a spiritual path, but whatever this is about, trust the guidance that you're getting and commit yourself to your truth, is what I want to say. All right, everybody. I hope everyone has enjoyed this weekly intuitive reading. If by any chance I'm either late or miss a weekly reading in the next week or two, please forgive me. Again, I'm moving. I hope not to do that. I really hope to continue being able to get these out in a timely manner. But just so that you know, if you don't hear from me, then that is why, until I get reestablished. But I've always been able to do it before, so I'm going to trust that I can do it again. I'm sending you all lots of love and light. Thank you for your support. Please subscribe to my channel, share the video, comment on the video, let me know what's going on in your life. I'd love to hear from you. And sending you lots of angel blessings in this month of change, this month of September, of change, redirection, and a lot of things going on, a lot of movement. All right, everyone. Take care and namaste.